Okay, so now we move on to Team 3, the team with the most followers, the most popular team. Team that's a bit unsettled right now, I think that's fair to say at the moment. Usually India, I think throughout all tournaments, are most settled side, but this is a very people coming back from injuries, new guys like Tilak Verma being jumped in there. Yeah, it's an interesting squad. I have to say there's some exciting stuff, there's some injury maybe prone stuff, but yeah, what do you think of the overall India squad at the moment?
Yeah, look, I think in terms of the squad they've selected, I think there's no real surprises there. Not really.
I think Tilak Verma's
I guess, yeah, but given his performance against West Indies, where he was sort of Mr. Reliable in that time, especially with like their big guns not there. I think it wasn't too much a surprise for me personally that he was included in that squad. So yeah, overall, I think they have a pretty decentish squad. I guess you obviously got Bumrah there, so this will be interesting to see how he goes. On his his proper tournament that he's playing, ICC tournament that he's playing after extended time out. It'll be very interesting to see how he goes. But yeah, I guess they have a few questions about their batting. I think they have, if I'm not mistaken, maybe one of the guys can help me with it. There's still recoveries from KL Rahul and Shreyas Iyer. Isn't that right?
Yeah, so I think KL Rahul will miss the first round, basically the first two games, and he's due to join from the fourth game or the third game if India does qualify, which he will. But I think I'm not too sure about Shreyas Iyer though.
I thought Shreyas Iyer is still carrying.
I think he just came back.
He just came back. Yeah,
so he hasn't played any games.
So those two, this gonna be interesting because you got one. KL Rahul's not. Is basically not there for the first few games. Shreyas Iyer just came back, so he's got not much match practice. And then on the other side, you got Tilak Verma as well. He's been actually been scoring runs. So do you slot him in above these guys who haven't actually played? It's actually kind of a tricky makeup of what they're going to have in their top four, I guess. I heard rumors that apparently Kohli might slot down to 4, and then they might get someone else in at 3. Is what I've sort of heard. So. But honestly, I wouldn't move Kohli from 3. He's got all of his runs there. Like he's the legend of number 3 of batting in ODI cricket. So I wouldn't change that around. But yeah, honestly, I reckon they should probably go with Tilak Verma in that top 4. Just because he pretty much stood up and no one else stood up in the West Indies tour. He batted pretty well, to be honest. So I think again there's a little bit of instability in the sort of not as stable as, for example, Pakistan. But I guess the batting, obviously they have Rohit Sharma and Kohli back. I'm sure Kohli is always a big performer in the big moments. But I guess with their bowling, interesting. I mean, I think they'll definitely go with their bowling makeup is probably going to be obviously Jadeja, probably Akshar Patel. I'm guessing you got Siraj, Shami, and Bumrah. And then
I think they'll go one of Jadeja, Akshar. They won't go both. And then Kuldeep.
So they'll probably get one of those. So I think their spin's not bad. They got some good variation in their spin. Interested to see how the seam attack will go there. I'm 100% certain with that. You got Bumrah not 100%. And he's probably expected to lead that attack. So it'll be interesting to see how they go.
I personally think they will try and rotate Bumrah. They wouldn't get him to be full floor because you got to also factor in that playing against Ireland, no disrespect to them, and playing the Asia Cup is wholly different.
It's completely different.
The intensity is a lot different. I mean, they're flat wickets. That means the bowlers have to put in that extra effort as well. And same as the batters, there's always that pressure to score runs for the batters there as well. I think given that Rohit Sharma from the top is not in his best form, Virat Kohli, not the Virat Kohli that we know, but I know again, he's a big match player who's stand up for big occasions. So India, like you said, Najee, I think definitely a bit unsettled, but I think still okay to play the finals. I think good contenders for the Asia Cup. For sure. Side by side with Bangladesh as well.
The only other question mark I guess I had with India is probably Hardik Pandya in terms of his batting. So he hasn't actually contributed much of late, which is a bit of a worry. Surprisingly, he's actually been bowling all right, but he is more on the side for his batting. So that is
his
a
depth over batting.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's in the side more as a batsman, although he actually is been bowling not too bad. So that is a little bit of a concern from them. They probably really do need runs. He's probably going to be batting at probably 5-6,
Yeah,
I'd say,
6, yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
And that's quite an important position in ODI. So there's a bit of a question mark around that. Like he probably, I'm sure they'll stick with him. They also got Suryakumar Yadav in the team, so do they pick him?
Yeah.
He hasn't had a good run of ODIs, but then.
They left Dhawan out. They left Chahal out.
Yeah.
Those were two big calls,
Yes,
especially
yeah.
because Dhawan in ICC events, especially.
Yeah.
Like if you think they kept Dhawan in the Asia Cup, that means he was in the plans for the World Cup. So it's definitely out of contention for the World Cup. So so those are big calls from the selectors.
Big calls, yeah.
So waits to be seen, and I think. When you got teams who are performing well in one-day cricket like Bangladesh, Pakistan, India, like they're all. If you look at in pen and paper, it's gonna be a close game, right? It's more a mental game here.
Yeah.
Like who can battle it out there mentally and just stay in the game in those crucial times. And I think that's what we will split the sides.
Definitely.
It's sort of. It's a bit unrelated, but it sort of reminds me of the Mitch Marsh, Cameron Green thing with Australia. Cameron Green's a really good bowler, but he hasn't proved himself with the bat. And Mitchell Marsh, well, you saw what he did with the bat. He was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
It's sort of like that with Hardik, but I guess in India's case, do they have a Mitchell Marsh on that side that can bat 6 and dominate? I don't know if they do. Like,
mate. Shahrukh Thakur.
The Lord.
Mate, that guy's got like the golden of
He's
golden
got the
arms
golden arm.
I've ever
Yeah,
seen.
does.
And even with the bat, he just randomly
Yeah,
goes
he
pressure
does.
runs. He's like, looks like the
Yeah,
most
I think-
unathletic guy just randomly does some random stuff and like wins the game out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Just don't know. It's just
But
like
I think India's missing parts though.
Yeah,
100%.
Definitely.
Yeah. That's pretty huge.
Yeah. So
But I guess they'll have Ishan Kishan keeping.
Yeah,
I
do
would
they
say.
do him maybe?
Because you got KR Rahul who's, pretty much, he's not there for the in the beginning half.
Yeah.
And then Sanju Samson's a travelling reserve, so he's probably not gonna, sort of play.
Yeah.
And I would say like another big worry for India, which usually they don't have, but I would say the low order hitting is not really there because their 4 bowlers won't be able to bat. Like Shami can't really bat, Siraj can't really bat, Bumrah can't really bat, Kuldeep can't really bat. That's their 4 bowlers. That's number 8 is number 11 basically. And now Bumrah's going to score 100 in the Asia Cup. So those 4 can't bat. And then you have a Hardik at number 6 who's struggling. So that's like your last 5 batsmen are like not really there. Jadeja's been actually excellent at number 7. He's, I know, averaging, I think it was like 50 or 60 in the last 2 years. He's been very brilliant and again underrated by India. I don't know why they didn't see him as one of the most important players in that side. He's never seen as that important, but I feel like he is.
I think he's X factor.
Yeah, he definitely.
Definitely. Because he bowls decent left armers and he's a very handy bat. And I've seen him many times carrying the tail end.
And let's not forget about his fielding.
Oh my god,
that's
one of the
like
best fielders in the
he's
world.
probably one of the like, if not the best, like fielder at the moment. Like,
These days you pick players because they have good fielding.
exactly.
Yeah.
10 times have changed.
Yeah.
So
I mean, he can easily save 10, 15, 20 runs even in a game, and that can be a huge difference between like 280 or 300.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think they're I mean, I don't know how the pitches are going to be, but I personally feel it'll be a lot aligned to ICC events. So ICC have asked India, ICC will make sure that they're flat wickets in the ICC event because they want more runs. More runs means more money. So if they emulate that in the Asia Cup, because essentially it's a dress rehearsal, I think you need that tail end batting because scores of 300 plus will make the difference. 280, yes, it will be a tough game, but you don't know. Like you have to bowl really well to defend 280.
Yeah. These days batsmen aren't scared of 280. Even 300. They're pretty they back themselves. 320. That starts getting a bit tricky, but they're still.
That's
back
why the
themselves.
variation is really important.
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's something, like India in that recent tour against, I think it was the West Indies, right? I think their last four like collapsed every game for like
yeah.
20 runs, 15 runs, and it was a big talking point because that is going to be
Yeah.
low order runs. We know how crucial that is, especially in latter moments of the tournament. We've seen how many times, especially India themselves, how many times have their top four failed like in the latter stages of the tournament.
Yeah, if you look at India's tour of Bangladesh, like they were absolutely flop with their batting.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at Mehdi Hasan Miraj's innings with Mustafiz on the other end, like he literally won that game out of nowhere. Right. So that kind of signifies that how critical and crucial it is to have a number 7 or number 8 with the capability of batting. And I think in world cricket, Australia has sorted that brilliantly. Right. Like Pat Cummins is more than handy with the bat. Coming down number 7 and 8. So it's a good headache for India to have, and I think it's too late to find that replacement. I think they want to find form for Hardik Pandya to sort of flourish in that position, and so that they don't have to worry about those late overs prowess that we need.
That's true.
Yeah, I definitely think Hardik Pandya needs to like stop saying controversial stuff and just focus on the ball.
West Indies aren't helping us.
What's he saying? Like, the West Indies, they should focus on facilities. Some other
we don't even get
crap.
basic things or something, basic utilities or something.
Mate, just focus on playing a game. Like, not scoring any runs. Like, focus on that.
Sorry, the king's son.
It's all that he also said something else as well, which was like, just to be done, just focus on like your play.
You didn't get breakfast on bed.
There was something else. Actually, even I think the Indian fans as well were sort of saying like you should just focus on your playing.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think India off the field, there's apart from the players, like I mean, Hardik Pandya has had his fair share of dull moments in the press, but I think in general the Indian media does fume a lot of the things which the players don't like as well, because they have all these advertising campaigns demeaning other sides, and they've never won an ICC even since those campaigns have come out. So so you wanna lay low a little bit and just play underdog for a change. But I think but having said all of that, India's a good side.
That's for sure.
Exactly.
I guess final thing from India is where do you think they'll finish? I'm gonna say the final will be India Pakistan win, so India runners up. Sorry, so
I guess that's the same answer for all of us.
Considering
what we said for the other ones.
Technically, like I would still have 50-50 Bangladesh India. Like,
so you're saying Pakistan completely and India Bangladesh.
50-50 if I can say that.
No, that's fair.